सान्द्रानन्दावबोधात्मकमनुपमितं कालदेशावदिभ्या निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनः उरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावत् भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानाम् अज्ञात्वा ते महत्त्वं यदिह निगदितं विश्वनाथ क्षमेथः स्तोत्रं चैतत्सहस्रोत्तरमधिकतरं त्वत्प्रसादाय भूयात् वेधा नारायणीयं श्रुतिषु च जनुषा स्तुत्यता वर्णनेन स्फीतम् लीलावतारैरिदमिह कुरुताम् आयुरारोग्य सौख्यम् आयुरारोग्य सौख्यम्.
Gurupavanapure Hantabhagyam Jananam. Namaskaram to all the Astikas. We have been seeing how Brahma was able to meditate on Bhagavan and thereby, after having done stuti of Bhagavan, was extremely bestowed with the powers, Manobalam, Tapobalam, to do the creation. How did the creation happen? That is when we saw those things that could move, those which couldn't. Those which had the Jivatma and those which didn't. So all this was seen. So Chetana, Achetana, Jada, Ajada and so on. So while this creation happened on one side, Sanat Kumaras were created. They were born as a result of Sattva Guna, but they refused to procreate. That is when Brahma got angry, and from his anger between his brows arose Rudramurti Mrida, and he was given in marriage to 11 Devis because he appeared in 11 forms. Ekadasha Rudra to Ekadasha Devi to Ekadasha Dhama abode. Now, Brahma, looking at the frightening form of Rudras, asked them not to continue the Srishti further. Then what happened after that comes the 7th Shloka. Tasthaya sargarasikasya marichiratrihi tatrangiraha kratumunihi pulaha pulastyaha angadajayata bhruguscha vasishtadakshau Shrīnaradascha bhagavan bhavadangridasaha Atha tasya angat, thereby from his body, sarga rasikasya ajayata, from his body intent on creation. So from Brahma's body, who was intent upon creation, sarga rasikasya ajayata, who was intent, were born, marichihi atrihi angiraha kratumunihi pulahaha pulastyaha bhruguhu vasishtha dakshaha. So these are the names of the Rishis who have come. Now what does Bhagavatam state? Utsangan narado jagne daksho angushtat swayambhuvaha pranad vasishthaha sanjato bhrugustvachi karat kratuhu pulaho nabhito jagne pulastyaha karnayoho rishihi angira mukhatokshno artrir marichir manaso abhavat. Who all came? So from Brahma's mind came the Rishi Marichi. From his eyes came the Maharishi Atri. So he says that Atri. Then from his face came Angiras. From his hands came Kratu. From his navel, Nabhi, came Pulaha. From his ears came Pulastyaha. Because it is said Pulastyaha Karnayoho Rishihi. So Pulastyaha came. From his skin came Bhrugu. So his skin, Tvachi, gave rise to Bhrigu. From his vital air, Pranavayu, came Vashishta. From his thumb, Daksha. from his lap was born Sri Narada. So Narada Muni was born. So as a result of this, we see all these Rishis coming from Brahma, because Brahma earlier created Sanaka Sanandanas, then he created Rudra. No creation happened further. So then he created all these Rishis. That is why Bhaṭṭatiri says, Sarga Rasikasya Ajayata, with the intent of creation, Marichihi, Atrihi, Angiraha, Kratumunihi, Pulahaha, Pulastyaha, Bhruguhu, Vasishta, Dakshau. They were created. Tatra, then, Tatra, Bhagavan Sri Naradaha cha, the one who is endowed with all the auspicious qualities, Sri Narada cha, Bhavad Angri Dasaha. They were all servants of your lotus feet, Bhagavan. Then what did they do? Dharmadikana bhisrujannatha kardamam cha vanim vidhaya vidhirangaja sankulo bhut tvadbodhitaihi sanaka daksha mukhaistanujaihi udbodhitascha viraramatamo vimunchan. Abhisrijan Dharmadikan, after having created the Dharmadeva, and like, so Dharmadeva is the one, the Dharma Devata who looks into Dharma. Kardamam cha atha vidhaya vanim. Kardamam, he created Kardama too, Kardama Prajapati. This Kardama name is very important when we will discuss Devahuti and thereby Kapila Vasudeva Avataram. So he says, Kardamam cha atha vidhaya Vani. He created Vani. Now be very careful of this word. Vani means sarasvati. Vidhihi abhut angaja sankulaha. But the moment he created Vani, Saraswati, he was afflicted with lust. Kamadeva, which is Brahma, was afflicted, and he went rushing towards Saraswati Devi. Udbodhitaha tanujaihi. Then he was enlightened by his very own sons. Atri, Angiras, Pulaha, Pulastya, Vasishtha, they all enlightened their father. You are going behind your own creation, which is wrong. Sanaka Daksha Mukhaihi Tvadbodhitaihi. Sanaka Daksha, they also advised. This becomes a major issue when dealing with the current world. Because they say, oh, see, Brahma lusted on his very own creation, which is like a daughter. Now this daughter-son relationship with the parents may not work in the initial level of Brahma Srishti, because it didn't happen through a yoni, it didn't happen through a uterus, the child didn't stay in the amniotic sac of the mother, it is just Srishti. So if Brahma has to do Srishti, he has to end up marrying. See, we in generally school days we say all Indians are my brothers and sisters. But there was a jovial way of dealing with it, except one, we would say, because that one will be our partner for the boy, the girl, the boy. So we would say except one. But what we essentially mean is we should have generally good feelings, brotherly feelings, sisterly feelings towards everyone. Bhagavan will choose one as a partner, and thereby for procreation we may have to engage in a physical relationship. But after producing children, your bhavam should be very respectful towards and loving towards each other like a brother and sister. So here, Brahma who has been accused has to be dealt. This case has to be dealt very, very carefully. Vidhaya Vani. Then the sons advise, no, she is your Srishti. Udbodhitaha tanujaihi sanaka daksha mukhaihi tvadbodhitaihi. They all advised him. Tvadbodhitaihi tamaha vimunchan viraramacha. Thereby Brahma, tamaha vimunchan, his ignorance got removed. Viraramacha, he relaxed now without getting excited. Next comes the 9th shloka. Vedan Purana Nivahanapi Sarva Vidyaha Kurvan Nijanana Ganas Chaturana Nosau Putreshu Teshu Vinidhaya Sa Sarga Vridhim Apnapnuvam Stava Padambujamashtrito Bhut Saha Asau Chaturananaha. That Chaturanana, that four-faced Brahma, Kurvan Vedan Purana Nivahana. Thereby he ensured that there is a passing over of knowledge through the four Vedas. Purana Nivahana. You have got the Itihasas and the Puranas. Sarva Vidyaha Api Nija Anana Ganat. The other branches of learning from the other faces. So we have the four Vedas, Rig, Yajuhu, Sama, Atharvanam. Then we have the 6 Angas to understand the 4 Vedas well. Shiksha, Jyotisham, Kalpam, Niruktam, Vyakaranam, Chandas. So we have the 6 Angas that are attached to the 4 Vedas. So 4 plus 6. Then we have the Upangas. We have the Dhanurvidya, Gandharva Vidya, Artha Shastram and so on. Then we have 4 other Shastrams. See, the Prachina line is Angani Vedas Chatvaro Mimamsa Nyaya Vistaraha Puranam Dharma Shastram Cha Vidyahyeta Chaturdasha. So we have Chaturdasha. 14 Vidyasthanam. So we have 4 Vedas, 6 Angas, Upangas. Besides this, we have Nyaya Shastram, Mimamsa, and so on and so forth to understand all of these Shastras well. So he says, Vidhinaya Taha Teshu Putreshu Sarva Vidyaha Api Nija Anana Ganat Apnapnuvan Sarva Vriddhim Abhut. Not engaging in further creation. Ashritaha tava padambujam. They took refuge in your lotus feet only. So we have all these creations. Thereby after these creations, we have these faces of Brahma that gives rise to different forms of knowledge. So creation can happen. Knowledge should also accompany, right? So Vedic knowledge, we say Shastra Jnanam. Shastra Jnanam comes from Shastram. Thereby Brahma helped in the creation of the Shastras as well. Says this particular 9th shloka. The 10th shloka is very clear. Janannupaya matha deha majo vibhajya stri pumsa bhavam abhajan manu tad vadubhyam tabhyam cha manushakulani vivardhayastvam Govinda Marutpuresha Nirundhirogan Atha Ajaha Janan Upayam. Now this word Ajaha is extremely important. Ja in Sanskritam deals with anything concerning birth. The one who gives us birth, mother Janani. The one who gives us birth, father Janaka. Our birth, Janma. The cycle of birth and death, Jani. The one who is unborn, Aja. So Brahma is called Ajaha. Why? Because he is not born the way that we are generally born. He through a Matriyoni. He was born from Parabrahman. So he does have a birth but not born like us. But the interesting thing is Narayana is also called Ajaha. Where in Vishnu Sahasranamam we have this nama Ajaha. Durvarshanaha Shasta Vishrutatma Surariha. Ajaha. What does Ajaha indicate? The commentator Parashara Bhatta says, it indicates Sakshat Nrisimhamurti, Narasimha Avataram. How? Because Bhagavan was also born in that Avataram, but not like us, not through a mother. He opened, when it opened like a dicotyledon, this particular pillar, emerged Bhagavan. So Bhagavan emerged from that pillar. That in itself says that he is not born like us. The moment he is not born like us, he is called Ajaha. Here Brahma is referred to as Ajaha. Atha Ajaha Janan Upayam. That Brahma called Aja came to know of this particular remedy, solution. What is that Upayam? Vibhajya Deham Abhajata. Dividing the body into 2. He has helped in the creation. Now he got an idea. He helped divide the body into 2. Assumed the forms of Stri, Pumsa, Bhavam, Manutad Vadubhyam. He assumed the form of the man and the woman. So he says Stri, Pumsa, Bhavam. Stri, Pumsa, lady, feminine, Pumsa, masculine, Bhavam, with that feeling. Manu Tad Vadubhyam. Manu and his wife. So we earlier have the earliest Manu called Swayambhuva Manu. He was born from Swayambhu Brahma. He is called Swayambhuva Manu. His wife is called Shatarupa. So he says, Tvam Vivardhayan Manusha Kulani. Thereby he commanded that Manu, you multiply yourself into the human race, Manusha Kulani, Tabhyam Nirundi Rogan. Now Bhaṭṭatiri looks at Krishna and says, see, you did so much for Srishti. You taught Brahma, you blessed Brahma, you received his stuti, you gave him the knowledge, you gave him the Shastra Jnanam and then made him create. You did so much. At the end of it, you are also telling Brahma, split yourself into 2. There should be a Swayambhuva Manu and there should be a Shatarupa. Help create. You've told all this. Is it so tough, hey Bhagavan, to remove my ailments as Bhaṭṭatiri? Tabhyam nirundhi rogan. Why don't you remove my ailments? So as he advises, comes this beautiful shloka, which is the 10th shloka of the 10th Dashakam.
कल्याणरूपाय कलौ जनानां कल्याणदात्रे करुणासुधाब्दे कंवादिदिव्यायुधसत्कराय वातालयाधीश नमो नमस्ते. नारायण 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 नारायण.